Motor Sherpa here from Toronto, and if you're like me and you love motorcycles and you're ready to get that license, this is the video for you. I'm gonna go over what each of the licenses are and what you need, but also what I wish I knew before I got started. So there's 3 levels to this. You have the written test, which is the first thing you need, M1, to get you started, and then you have the M2, and then lastly you have the M. So the first thing that you need is M1. Before you do your M1 test, there's 2 things that you need to know. Number 1, you do need to restudy the driver handbook to do the test, because in the M1 test you also get questions around things that you had in your G1, so make sure to refresh on those questions as well. This is something that I did not know going in, so I only studied the motorcycle questions, motorcycle handbook, and then I went in to do the test, and then I failed on the because I got the road related questions wrong, like the car road related questions wrong. So here's what I did. Thankfully you can retake the test if you do fail. They allow you to retake the test as many times as you want, as long as you want to pay for it. It's not that expensive. Ended up costing me, I think, between $16 or $25. I don't remember, in that range, nothing more than $25. Now, you can go back in the lineup and do what I did. Just go online and then look up G1 sample test. I'm also going to put all the links in the description so you can take a look there. So that's the number 1 thing that you need to do to prepare. Make sure to also study the driver's road test handbook as well. The second thing that you need to know is that the M1 test is only good for 90 days. So you need to time that with a road test to upgrade to the next level of licensing, which is M2. I timed it with M2 training, motorcycle safety training program, because if you do one of those training programs, they actually end up doing the exam with you on the 2nd day or the last day of your training, and then you can get the license directly through them. They give you a certificate, you take the certificate, go back to a drive test center, and then they give you the actual license for M2. So make sure to remember that you can upgrade to M2 within the 90-day frame. So you need, if you are thinking of doing a motorcycle safety training program, to get that M2 license, which I highly recommend, because it's just, they run through all the exercises that come on the test during the training, and then by the time you're doing the test, it's super easy. Lastly, you have the M license. For the M license, here's what you need to know. You want to make sure that you know this ahead of time before you get a motorcycle, because with each level of licensing, you get different rates of insurance, as you can imagine. So with the M license, you need to wait about 22 months before you can do it. And again, you can go the same, I would recommend you go the same route of going through a training center, because it just takes the edge off. If you're somebody like me who gets nervous with tests and everything, then I just prefer doing it through the motorcycle safety courses. Make sure to remember that you have 22 months. And if this is what I wish I knew, I wish I knew that I did not need a motorcycle to get all this licensing. So what I mean by that is, you don't need to time it so that you get a motorcycle right after M2 or M1, or even, by M, you're probably riding already if you're like me. But I still think it's a great idea to do your license ahead of time. If you're somebody who's thinking of getting a motorcycle, do your M1 and M2 right away. It just makes your life so much easier if you're trying to get a sport bike and get a cheaper insurance, or just even when you're ready to get that motorcycle. It just makes the whole process so much smoother. So I hope that this video is going to help you out in your journey to getting your license in Toronto or in Ontario, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.